Hi, this is Sweet June coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell so every time I do a video, you'll be notified. I don't know if you guys have heard in the news, Tesla, the car manufacturer Tesla, they just got hit with a $137 million lawsuit. Um, the individual won the lawsuit. They won the lawsuit. It goes down a racial discrimination lawsuit. It goes down um, as the highest paid discrimination lawsuit in American history. Yeah, because I've never heard of anybody getting that kind of money from a discrimination lawsuit. Um, it was a black male. Last name was Diaz. He was a elevator operator at the company, and they said they were saying racial slurs, saying the N words, telling him he need to go back to Africa, and um, posting notes and things like that. Um, that can cause a lot of psychological damage to a black person. A lot of people don't realize that racism has some serious psychological and emotional um, effects on black people. A lot of people don't realize that, nor do they understand it. And so I'd like to know. They said he complete. They said he complained, and they didn't do anything about it. I'd like to know what the procedures that he followed, step by step, that he followed, because typically discrimination is very, very, very hard to prove in the workplace. Racial discrimination is very, very hard to prove. Um, and I think a lot of employers know that. A lot of employers know that it's hard to prove, and because they know that, they won't really bend over backwards to try to do anything about it. Um, and in some cases, keep continuing to perpetuate it. Um, I've experienced racial discrimination in the workplace. I was forced out when I worked at this assisted living facility. I was forced to resign because of racism. Um, in another job I had a racist supervisor when I worked at a county nursing home. So, racism, people don't understand that there's different levels to racism. There are different levels to it. There's the real subtle, covert, as they say, covert. I used to call it overt, but that was the wrong word. They call it the subtle, covert racism, as they call microaggressions, all the way up into the severe um, discrimination, what he experienced. The severe meaning racial slurs and things like that. I've experienced different levels, not to that degree. When I was wait a minute now, because when I was at the nursing home, I had a coworker that said the N word um, in my presence. Now, I'll be honest, I used the word a couple times, and and that person was already racist, so you know, and that's what they were. That was another thing they were saying, that the N word was used in a friendly way, or maybe some other black coworkers was using the word. That word, nobody should be using that word. Nobody should be using the N word. Black people shouldn't use it. I don't care if has the uh, GA on the end or the ER on the end. It doesn't matter. I've explained in another video that it has too much of our people's blood on it. It has a horrible, horrible, brutal. That word has a horrible, horrible, brutal racial history in this country. It's got too many of our people's blood on it. So nobody should be using that word. Black people shouldn't be using it. White people shouldn't be using it. Nobody should be using it. they shouldn't feel justified to use it because our people call each other that. You know, if you even have to question that, okay, you're racist. I'm sorry. You have a question that you're racist. You even have to ask a question like that, you're racist. You shouldn't be using that word, period. Black people, nobody should be using that word. So I'm gonna go on record to say that. And um but typically racial discrimination is very, very hard to prove. I stated in another video, the one where I did reasons to quit your job, that sometimes it's just easier just to leave a job. Sometimes when you experience it, when I experienced it at the assisted living facility, I just, they literally told me I need to look for another job. And she cut my hours drastically, to make a long story short. And the med tech was writing me up and saying all kinds of, was lying on me. And then in those lies was saying some very stereotypical things about me, you know. Said I was being a bully, said that I was slamming things, I was being hostile. She was using some very key words that was racial stereotypical words that goes against all my total character. I'm not a person that's a bully, or she was saying everything that I was not. And so basically saying that I was a bully just because I asked her a simple question, and she was just putting all kind of lies in these write-ups. It was just terrible. And the director of nursing at the time she was a racist too. So she believed everything. They were in cahoots, and she believed everything she said. And make a long story short, they told me, look, they cut my hours down drastically. Told me to start looking for another job, and I was very, very upset. Oh, I was just so upset. Oh my God! But I didn't show it. I didn't show them that I was upset. Um, So I just, Jehovah God opened another door for me, and that was when I got the job at the daycare. He opened up another door, so I just, went on ahead and quit, you know, because like I said in that other video, sometimes it's just easier to just walk away, and a lot of times racial discrimination is very, very difficult to prove. Um, and a lot of these employers know that it's hard to prove, because they know that they're either going to continue to perpetuate it or not do anything about it. But it's literally exposing that person to a hostile work environment. They're exposing them to a hostile work environment, or a very racist hostile work environment. And this is where it boils down to institutionalized racism. A lot of people think that it's just views and opinions. No, no, no. That's where it boils down to institutionalized racism, where racism is all in our institutions, our workplace, and everything like that. And when it's all up in our institutions and stuff like that, it starts to affect our livelihood. And so, and that's when it becomes a problem, when it affects your livelihood, when you have to literally leave a job because of racial discrimination. um, it affects your livelihood, because when I left this job, I had to go to a lower paying job. So I was so upset about the situation. It took me 2 years to get past it. I was just so upset about it. So it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. A black person should not have to. It's hard enough. It's hard enough to go to work, and to earn a living, and then you have to, when you go to work, you have to endure. It's hard enough going to work, being a black person, and then it's even worse when you have to go to work. You need to earn a living so you can take care of your family. This is your livelihood, so you can take care of your family and stuff like that. That's hard enough, and then you have to, when you do go to work, you have to endure all this harassment, racism, and things like that. And people making comments. Like I said, I've dealt with, there are in fact different levels of it, and I've dealt with different degrees of it, where, like I said, the covert to what they call microaggressions. And a lot of times we're so, as Black people, we're so used to going through that. We're so used to going through these things that we just kind of just, I know I go through a process of sometimes I pick and choose my battles over the years. And I've had lots of jobs. I've had tons of jobs. And I've had white people say stuff to me, make little comments and statements, and those what I guess that's what they call microaggressions. At the time, I didn't know that's what they were called. And it's just, you learn to pick, and what you learn to do as a Black person in a workplace, you learn to pick and choose your battles. You know, unless it's something that's major, something that's really, over the top racist, you just let it go. You just let it go. It bothers you, but you let it go. And so, and and my thing is, I don't like the fact that, I mean, I can do this is so many other video topics. I can definitely do other video topics talking about all this, but I know it bothers me when I go on a job and they try to act like I'm not doing my job. They tell you things, they tell you to do the same thing over and over, because they always had a stereotype in his mind that Black people are lazy. And we all know, as Black people, we always have to work harder to get twice as far. They call it the black tax. We have to pay the black tax. We have to work twice as hard. We literally do. Literally. If you don't realize that as a Black person, then you really need to get your head out of the sand, because we as Black people, we really do have to work harder on the job. And it does make you angry. I know I told my sons this, educated my sons about this before they went into the workplace. And it does make, a long story short, it just makes you angry. I was discussing that with my son the other day. I said, I don't like when they be trying to tell me I'm not doing my job. When I know I'm working and I'm doing my job, and I know I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm working hard, and you gonna try to sit there and tell me that I'm not doing my job, you know? Or you keep repeating the same thing over and over, keep telling me to do stuff over and over when I'm already doing it. Like, how you telling me to do something that I'm already doing? See, that's them trying to tell you that you lazy. Or they sit around and not do nothing. Double standards, these double standards. You know, they get on you, but then certain other employees, they let them slide. See, and then it's all those microaggressions. Um, Want to crack the whip on you, but then let somebody else slide and do a half job. You know, stuff like that. That is my number one pet peeve, is that they try to tell me I'm not doing my job when I know I'm busting my butt. So I can do so many other video topics about these things. But yeah, but I'd like to know the exact procedure that he followed, because that's gonna definitely become the model, because it's racism is just so hard to prove. And I'm so happy that he got justice in this situation, and it's awarded 137 million dollars. And he got some for emotional suffering. And racism is very painful. It is very painful for Black people. It has an emotional impact on you. It affects you mentally. It affects you emotionally. And a lot of people don't realize it. A lot of people don't realize. Oh, that's a whole nother topic. I'm probably gonna do another topic talking about that. It also affects us psychologically. It really has a strong psychological effect on us as well. A lot of people don't realize that. So I'm just so glad that he got justice in this situation, and I hope that this case sets the precedent for other racial discrimination cases, and then sends a message to other employers that they need to get a handle on this thing, because it is the employer's responsibility to make sure that none of their employees, it doesn't matter whether it's sexism, because some women have to deal with sexism. It doesn't matter if it's sexism, racism, discrimination for. They're required to post that sign up. All employers, that you don't discriminate against somebody's weight, age, sexual orientation and all that. All employers are required to put that sign up that says that, but they do it anyway. It doesn't matter because there's all different types of discrimination. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to have zero tolerance for that, and they're supposed to get a handle on that, and they're supposed to make sure that nobody is being bullied in the workplace. That nobody should have to be subject to a hostile work environment. Nobody should be getting harassed in the workplace. And if that kind of thing is going on, it is the employee's responsibility to get a handle on it and take measures to stop it. And if they don't do it, then it's like you're condoning it. If you don't try to stop it, then you're condoning it. You don't care. So I'm glad that this man got justice in this situation, and it will definitely set the precedent for other companies to, crack down on stuff like that. Because as black people, we get tired of that. We get tired of going to the workforce and having to deal with this stuff, you know. And so hit me up in the comment section. Let me know if you had to endure some racial discrimination on the job, microaggressions. Um, just hit me up in the comment section if you've had to endure that. Um, yeah, I'll probably do some other topics talking about this because and other things. But yeah, I'm just so glad that he got justice in this situation. Um, So let me know what you guys think. Share your stories in the comment section. Go ahead, hit that subscribe, like, and share. Until the next video, this is Peace and Love. This is Sweet June.